What's up, everybody? We're going to go through the notes today. We're doing direct variation day one notes. We're not anymore trying to compare the difference between direct and inverse. We're focusing only on direct. And we're going to kind of start with this, like, how did we get here kind of walkthrough, okay? We already know that slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. The graph of a direct variation is a straight line that goes directly through 0, 0. Hopefully remember that from yesterday, from the warm-up. And so our b is 0. Our y-intercept is 0. If we go through the origin, our y and our x-intercepts are 0 if we're a straight line. Now, that means we have y equals mx. Because we have plus 0, and we don't need to write plus 0. Now, I told you that we're going to use the letter K instead of M, because we don't really, the truth is K is the same as M, but we're going to basically use it where slope, the word slope doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we don't want to really get stuck saying slope if we're talking about something that has nothing to do with a graph. So we're going to use K, and basically, if I want to find out what K is, let's solve for K. I want to move x to the other side. I'm going to do y equals kx, and I'm going to try to divide by x, because that's how you move something to the other side. These are connected with multiplication, and I have to use divide. So now, I'm going to have y over x equals k. Now, we got this yesterday, all right? This was on the notes from yesterday. This is your direct variation. Direct means divide. Y divided by x equals k. And remember, k is just a number, okay? We're just using k generally. Now, this becomes really easy, okay? Find the constant of variation, and then find the equation expressing direct variation. So, y varies directly as x. That tells me y divided by x equals k. Because directly means divide. That is step number 1. Step number 2, y equals 14 when x equals 7. Okay, well, if y is 14 when x is 7, and that equals k, and what is 14 divided by 7? I can probably do that in my head, but let's just use Desmos. Here we go. Stuff from yesterday. 14 divided by 7, done. The answer is 2, and we have k equals 2. Number 2 says, if y varies directly as x, y varies directly as x, y is 15 when x is negative 6. Okay. Y is 15. X is negative 6. Then that means we're going to have equals k. And what is k? We're going to go to Desmos. We're going to type this in. 15 divided by negative 6. And we're going to make it a fraction, negative 5 halves. So, k equals negative 5 halves. Basically, just take the two numbers and divide them, right? It's very easy, honestly. You just literally take the two numbers, direct means divide, so divide them. We might get a little more wordy here, okay? The distance traveled varies directly to the time spent traveling. Basically, I saw this word right here, varies directly. So I'm going easy. Y divided by x equals k. Write an equation if it took 19 hours for Harry to drive 171 miles. Now, whichever one they say first is the y. So, when I'm looking at this and it says distance traveled, that's going to be my y number. Varies directly to time spent, that's going to be my x. So, distance is the y. That means distance is on top, And which one of these numbers is distance, 19 or 171 miles? Right? The miles is the distance. I'm going 171 miles on the top, and then it says 19 hours, so that 19 is going to go on the bottom. That's going to help me find the K. If you're really good, you can know that we're going to get 9 dividing 171 by 19. K equals 9. Now this question does ask, write an equation. Writing an equation wants more than just the K. It wants y divided by x equals 9. That is the full equation. It's the full y divided by x equals k with the k number, which is 9. Now, down here, here's where you really get into business, all right? Honestly, those first 3 are so easy. You literally just divide a number. Like, it's almost silly how easy they are. For these 4, you're gonna have to do a little bit of a brain on thinking, okay? So let me grab another highlighter real quick. A little orange here. So this piece of paper starts us off. It says y varies directly as x, okay? So that's gonna be part number 1. Y varies directly as x, part number 1. What does it mean if y varies directly as x? That means y divided by x equals k. Direct means divide. The reason these questions require a brain is because we're going to do more than just one step. Okay? Again, same information we had before. If y equals 4 when x equals 2, okay, plug them in. 4 over 2 equals k. And what's k going to be equal to? 2. I hope you can do that in your head. 4 divided by 2 is 2. But now we're going to get this third part here. All right? This third part here says find y when the x is 16. So this third part is where a lot of students go from, hey, this is so easy, it's a waste of time, to all of a sudden, I'm having to think about this a little bit, okay? Here's what's going on. To start this question, we're gonna use the x and the k, and we're missing the y. So you can kind of think about it, like we have y divided by x equals 2, and we're gonna plug in the 16, y divided by 16 equals 2. So we got a 3-stepper here. Make the equation, that's easy, direct divide. Honestly, all day, every single question is the exact same. Step 2, plug in the 2 numbers, very easy, get the k. Step 3, plug in the 2 numbers, but importantly, these numbers from the second step are totally useless. All right, so what happens is students get confused because they're like, well, it says that x is 16, and it says over here that x equals 2. We got to do it one step at a time. Directly, got it. 4, 2, 4, 2, got it, done. Never gonna use that part again. Like literally, there you go. The only thing that's left is the pink stuff. Find the y when x equals 16. And what is k? Once we find k, k lasts forever, right? K is for constant, which means permanent, which means steady, which means the same. And so now that we're here, solve for the y. How do you move this 16 out? How do you get rid of fractions, the opposite of fractions? You use multiplying, right? Times 16 times 16. And so the pink answer is going to be y equals 32. Now that might have seemed crazy. Let's do it one more time. Okay? Now, I kind of get annoyed with this paper because it says solve if y varies directly as x, and you're supposed to like use that for number 5 too. I hate that they didn't write it here. The questions will always say, you know, direct. The first sentence will always be direct. This paper kind of drives me crazy a little bit. So this first part where it says direct is going to give us the first part of the question, which is the easiest part, y divided by x equals k. Then there's a second part of the question. And the second part of the question is going to give us the second part of the answer. So, orange, for right now, temporarily, the y is 9 and the x is -3. That's going to be equal to k. And we can do this and we can figure out that k equals -3. Now, the way that this works is that the middle step is temporary. This y and x, done. We used it up. We don't care. The k value is permanent, okay? K is a constant. Constants last. Constants stick around, okay? Now, that's going to bring us to our last step. Find x when y equals 6. Okay? Find the x when y equals 6. And again, students get stuck with this step because they always are looking and they're saying, "Oh, but I thought that x was -3." That's the second step. Those numbers are gone. These are the stuff that we're working with. We should always have all letters, k missing, one letter missing, right? It's the same pattern. All letters, k missing, one letter. All letters, k missing, one letter. Now, solving for x is something that we can do, something that students really struggle with, honestly. The hardest thing today is trying to get this x out of the bottom. So remember over here, how did we get rid of the 16 on the bottom? What I want is the x, but it's in the bottom, and that's a problem. So what I'm going to do is the same strategy as before. Times 16 on both sides, okay, times x on both sides. So I'm going to do times x times x. Now, when I do the times x, that's going to move my x out of the bottom. I'm going to have my x up here. I'm going to have 6 equals -3 times x. I don't have any more fractions. But I'm not done yet. Last time I was done, but this time I'm not quite done yet. I have to finish this question with divide. I'm going to get x equals -2. Now, I totally understand that number 5 is a little bit harder than number 4 because number 5 has the x on the bottom. But number 4 is 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, and then you solve it in 4 steps. Okay? Write this, write this, write this, solve it. That's 4. 4 total steps. Question number 5 is write it, write it, write it. That's 3. Multiply by x. That's 4. Divide. That's 5. So this is 1 step longer. Okay? The bottom line is, and I'm just being honest with you guys, half the class is not going to pay attention enough. Half the class is not going to try hard enough. And when it comes to how do you get this x out of the bottom, half the class, honestly, half the class will like just never get this. And it's crazy and I hate it and I wish I could do better and I wish I could teach better maybe or inspire better. But the truth is, getting rid of this x on the bottom by multiplying both sides, as easy as that is, times x, it's going to be a nightmare for about half the class. Let's do one last question. Let's finish it off here. A worker's earnings vary directly to the number of hours worked. The first sentence is the first part. I see the word direct. Okay, easy. Direct means divide. Y divided by X equals K. Done. Next, moving on. Andrew makes $120 for 8 hours. Boom. Part number 2. The earnings is first, which means the earnings is the Y, which means the earnings is the top. What is he earning? Is he earning $120, or is he earning 8 hours? He's obviously earning $120. So we're going 120 on the top, 8 on the bottom, equals K. We're going into Desmos. 120 divided by 8. I have a feeling that it might be 15. 120 divided by 8. Oh my God, 15. Incredible. So K equals 15. Now, from there, we're going to move on to the third step. The third step might be a 2-step, might be a 3-stepper, but importantly, the number 120, gone. The number 8, gone. The number 15, that's my K value, that's my constant, is going to have to stick around. Okay. How many hours? That means hours is a mystery. Must he work to earn 600? I remember that we said earnings was the top, which means 600 was the top. And remember, K is constant forever. Now, imagine this. You're doing math and you're thinking to yourself, when am I ever going to use this, Mr. Collier? I'm so annoyed. When would I ever do this? This is such a relevant question, okay? It literally says you're doing your work and it's varying directly, which means the more you work, the more you make. Now, Andrew made $120 for 8 hours. And 8 hours is like a day, right? So he made $120 today, and he's got in his mind, I really want to buy a PlayStation and some games. I really want to buy a couch. I really want to buy my first car. Or, hey, I got $600 of rent that I have to pay. And so Andrew's wondering, how many hours do I have to work to get $600 so that I can buy a PlayStation 5 and I can buy the new game, Grand Theft Auto or whatever it is. So he's trying to plan out his money, and guess what? Adults, that's what we do. We try to figure out how much money we have. Do I have enough money to go on vacation? Do I have enough money to try to buy this new car because my monthly... Anyways, this is actually very useful in real life, long story short. How do we solve for X? I just tried to tell you. About half the class, never going to figure this out, even though it's easy. X is on the bottom, that's a problem. Get rid of fractions. Times X times X. Okay, awesome. We multiplied by X. We're going to, these X's, right? We got one on the bottom, one on the top. We got 600 equals 15X, and we're not done yet. X isn't by itself, right? Finish with divide, finish with divide. And what is 600 divided by 15? I have a feeling that it is 40. 600 divided by 15 is 40. All right, there you go. That tells you not only that X equals 40, but in the real life, that tells you that Andrew has to work 40 hours to make $600. That tells you that if you make $15 an hour and you have a normal work week where you work 40 hours a week, that you're going to make $600. And I got bad news. The government's going to take about $120 there, and you're going to only be left with $480. Then you got to pay the phone payment, and just being silly. Learning how your money works is a big thing, and people who are good at math typically are good with their money. No surprise there. All right, here's what you got to do. Y divided by x equals k, and k is just a number. So make your equation, divide the numbers. That's what k is equal to. Easy, easy, easy. Down here, we got 3 steppers. Okay, and I've done a lot of crossing out, but they're going to tell you directly. They're going to tell you a temporary set of numbers so that you can find the k. And then they're going to ask you a banger question at the end. Keep the k, get rid of the middle stuff. All right.